Speculation continues to swirl around President Biden's capabilities after his recent debate with Donald Trump. Isabella Warren got reaction from local lawmakers on where they stand.
Eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID.
The aftermath following the debate has left a trail of uncertainty for voters and Democratic legislatures, though the president's made clear he's not dropping out.
I am running and going to win again.
Many are questioning the president's capacities.
The debate was clearly a disaster for Biden. It's not that Trump did well, it's that Biden looked really, really bad.
James Moore is a politics and government professor at Pacific University. As Governor Tina Kotek and other governors across the country met last week to speak with President Biden, Moore says the support will only go so far.
What we hear, he has to stop looking like a little old man who looks like he's going to fall over. And so that takes a different type of campaigning. And so the surrogates can't do that second part. That's Biden alone can do that.
He says many Oregon Democrats in tight races are treading lightly when showing their support ahead of the election.
If you're Andrea Salinas in the 6th, if you're Janelle Bynum in the 5th, if you're Val Hoyle in the 4th, you need to figure out what's happening with Democrats and the way they're supporting Biden before you come out and take a stance.
Bend Mayor Melanie Keebler shared her support on her social media last week. Both Oregon Senators Wyden and Merkley shared statements with News Channel 21 saying they will continue to support the president going into November. Senator Wyden saying he's proud of what Democrats and the president have done for the state of Oregon, and Senator Merkley saying the choice is clear for Biden. We asked Republican incumbent Lori Chavez-DeRemer last week about her thoughts on the president's performance.
People are concerned with that, and they should be. They should ask that question. As they sit down to that table in November, they're going to say, is this the man that can represent Oregon and America on a world stage and protect us? And I'm not so sure they can answer that question based on what we saw last Thursday.
A total of 7 Democrat representatives have called for the president to step down ahead of the Democratic National Convention next month. But the president has maintained he's staying in the race.
If the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
The NATO summit also began, which Moore says will be one of President Biden's only chances left to make up for the debate. Another debate with Donald Trump will be held on September 10th.
How much support did President Biden get in the primary among the Democrats here?
Well, he did get a 90% vote for voters from the Democratic Party in May.
All right. Now, he's still the presumptive nominee. When does he actually become the official nominee then?
So that's for the DNC convention, and that's going to be in early August. But that decision is actually made before the convention and the beginning of August, but it won't be announced until later.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Isabella.